Okay, let's see. Hold on, guys. Urban One. Okay, that's great, man. That's funny. Okay, I got a history of that stuff. Holy crap! It's like hearing about an ex-girlfriend who became as famous as Beyonce or something, or became a billionaire. Like it's you just kind of you get curious, right? Um, and I've never had that happen to me with an ex-girlfriend, but I'm sure I have an ex-girlfriend or two who probably watches me on the internet and stalks me and is curious about what my life is like now. I don't know. Anyway, so let me show you guys Urban One stock. Okay, so it looks like today it had a dip, but look at that, man. That makes no sense. So this is what it's done over the last month. So you see, it was trading for less than $1. You go back 6 months, it was up to $2. Go back 5 years. The highest the stock had been is maybe $3 or $4, $3.19. So today, okay, wait a minute. So this is no. You said $24. I don't think it was $24. So here, what I'm seeing, but I am seeing a big jump though, where it jumped to 677, and now it's back down to 244. I'm going to tell you what I think is going on. I think that what's happening is in the market, and this is kind of the ongoing theory. In the stock market, you have a lot of, but you know what? You might be right. I'm looking at my Robinhood app, and it's showing me a different price on the stock. Now that's weird. I don't know why Robinhood would. Yeah, give me 1 second, guys. I apologize. I gotta get to the bottom of this. Okay. No, you're right. Holy crap. This stock went up to $38.77. Say something to me in the chat. Who asked that question? I want to see who asked that. Eric, did you sell? God, I hope you sold that stock at 36. Did you sell it? What'd you do? I'm really curious. I'm looking at on the internet, and it's not showing all of that. It's not showing maybe there's a different class of stock. Let me see. Hold on, guys. Hold on. We gotta get to the bottom of this mystery. Okay, let me see. Urban One stock price. Let me see what we got here. Okay, maybe you know what? Maybe it's the Class A stock. So let me see if I can get the Class A stock price. So that might be what the difference here. Oh, I see it now. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about what happened here. All right, so I'm looking at Bloomberg, right? And what Bloomberg says is it appears that there was a stock buyback. And it says Carver Bank Corp and Urban One Inc., two companies that serve Black and underrepresented communities, more than doubled on Wednesday as traders aid trends associated with supporting Black-owned businesses amid global protests against police brutality. Carver jumped 853%, the most on record. Urban One's Class D shares climbed 150% intraday. So they said this move comes as calls to buy Black have circulated on social media, pointing consumers to Black-owned businesses as a step toward correcting economic inequalities. The stocks have also seen increased interest from retail investors. Urban One's Class A and Class D shares were the two stocks with the biggest increases in popularity on Robinhood accounts over the past 24 hours, according to RobinTrack, an online monitoring service. Carver also saw a huge jump in trading activity on Robinhood in early June. Quote, buying Black, coupled with similar phrases such as buying back the block, are garnering mainstream attention following protests across the U.S. against police brutality against Black people. I'll tell you what, I don't normally trust white folks, but they're having a good week. White people are having a good week. This ain't reparations, but they're having a good week. Yeah, okay, so let me see what I can. Here's what's going on. I think the reason that I didn't see that $2 or $25 jump or whatever it was that you mentioned earlier is because I was looking when you search for Urban One stock. I'll show you what you find. When you search for Urban One stock, you're seeing it looks like they're showing only Class D. Okay, so if I show you their stock price, but even the Class D shares jumped a lot, right? So you look here, you see that normally the stock hovers, pretty low. Because I've been owning Urban One stock for a long time, hoping one day it could make some money, but it never did. Because if you go back and look at the stock for 5 years, I mean, it's been kind of a turd as far as stocks go. It just hasn't done much of anything. And even if you look at the entire history of the stock, there was a time where it was, priced pretty high, and then it just kind of plummeted. And a lot of it's because Urban One, from what insiders have told me about the company, I get the impression they're really struggling with a lot of debt and a lot of financial problems that aren't going to be solvable. So what appears to have occurred here is that there are lots of people that, I guess, white guilt is leading them to buy black and all that good stuff. And so the Class A shares, which I'm looking at right here on my Robinhood app, have gone as high as it looks like $24 or something. And today they dropped back down to 12 to, sorry, scratch that. You know what, I'm looking at this. Yeah, they went as high as $38. They dropped down to about 12 something today. And then the Class D shares, even they jumped up to 670 or something like that. I don't know how sustainable is that. I don't know. I mean, it could lead to a lasting economic impact. I mean, for example, when you see where the Netflix CEO made that massive donation to HBCUs, you could end up seeing a sustained economic impact resulting from the protests. But I wouldn't hold my breath, because the internet forgets things very quickly. And I don't really know if they're going to remember that they love black people 6 months from now. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they can prove me wrong. I don't know about anybody else, but, just from dealing with the trauma of racism as a kid, I lost trust, in a lot of people that weren't black. I trust my community, but I don't really trust white folks to do what's right by black folks. So maybe that's my little issue to deal with. So hopefully the world has changed, and I hope that you sold the stock. Did you sell it? Let me see. Let's see here. Okay, Tyshawn says I have the Class D. The Class D didn't go up like that, but the Class A shot up. Who sold? Did anybody sell your stock, or what did you do? Did you hold it? Did you sell it? What did you do? Let me know. Okay, high was 38 on the 16th. Yeah, here's another reason why you're probably seeing weird activity in the stock market. Is there is speculation about added speculation, meaning that there are experts that believe that right now, because of the pandemic, because a lot of people are staying home and doing whatever, just sitting on their Robinhood apps, buying stocks for whatever reason, they're artificially pushing up prices. Now, I don't know if that theory really holds per se, but there are people who have created platforms since the pandemic began where they're basically getting all the people that used to bet on sports to bet on the stock market. So that's why you have weird situations happening now where like Hertz had shares of stock that were pretty much going to on their way to being worthless, totally worthless, because when a company goes into bankruptcy, the stockholders get paid last. And the reason they're in bankruptcy is because they can't even pay the people in front of the stockholders. They can't even pay the interest on their debt. So the debt holders get paid first. And after the debt holders eat, there's no food left for the stockholders. So there's no incentive whatsoever to buy that company stock. But the weird thing that happened was people started buying Hertz stock. Hertz stock shot up, just from pure speculation. People, because they were just uninformed. So basically Hertz went to the judge and said, look, there are all these suckers out here that for whatever reason want to buy our worthless stock, and we need to raise money. So why don't we sell another $500 million worth of stock? And if the suckers want to buy Hertz stock, then let's sell them some Hertz stock. And the Securities and Exchange Commission kind of paused because they said, well, we don't really know if it's ethical to go out and sell something that has no relevant intrinsic value or has such a high value of expiring worthless. So that's the interesting dynamic that they're kind of dealing with now. I think it's always been there. There's always been that irrational behavior from uninformed investors that kind of drives prices in directions they shouldn't go. But this is one that they're still trying to grapple with. So I don't know what's going on with Urban One. I hope the company is going to benefit from all this. A lot of businesses are benefiting from the protests and the pandemic and everything else. So don't ever think that the whole economy is shot. The whole economy is not shot. You're just seeing more inequality. Which is why it's so important for you to participate in the stock market, because when the Fed is making announcements, when the Fed is jumping in and intervening in the economy and they're buying things and moving things around and shifting things, first place they go are to the capital markets. First place they go with their money is they're going and they're buying corporate bonds, they're buying, junk bonds, they're buying all different, they're putting money into treasuries and all that stuff. And all those things, all those activities, all those liquidity granting moves are pumping up valuations in the stock market. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm saying that it is what it is. So that's why you want to be an investor, because the investors are going to be the last ones to drown in the way the economy is structured. It just is what it is. It's like the Titanic. The rich people are going to be the last ones to go without a lifeboat. Let's see, Trey, can we invest in casinos? I have. So, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I've invested substantially in casinos. Should he have sold the stock? Why should he have sold? Daisy, I would have sold because if a price moves like that and I can't find any substantial underlying reason, that the price should be that high, I might sell, just because I would probably think it was just a blip on the screen. I mean, if you look at it, it just looks like an aberration. It looks like almost like a computer glitch, And so that's different from a company that's just killing it and is going to make more and more money. And remember, you're not really, I know that you want to, you might want to buy stock in Urban One because you feel like you're helping a Black-owned business. But if you really go look at that company and the management team and stuff like that, you have to be real liberal to call it a Black-owned business. Kathy Hughes runs it. She's a nice lady. But it's not my impression that this is really a business that's run and funded by Black people, even in a majority sense. But I'm not judging. I'm just saying, I wouldn't hold on to the stock just to be nice to a Black-owned business. I think there are other Black-owned businesses that could really use your money that might be better investments. But again, because like I said, I've held Urban One stock for years and it hasn't ever made me any money, ever. Or not that I know of. So Tyshawn, what is the status of the investment club? We're going to work on that. Yeah, we're working on that now. We're still having meetings. We want to make sure we have it laid out properly, but we will move forward very, very soon. So you'll get an email when that happens. I assure you. I'm very interested because I want businesses to be helping each other start clubs locally in NYC. Very nice. I like that. Diane, what are your thoughts about investing in fractional shares? I think it's a great way to, to do what they call creating artificial liquidity. Not artificial, but arbitrary liquidity, meaning that you don't have to spend a whole bunch of money to buy one share of a company anymore. Like now you can be an Amazon investor with $5, $2, right? That's pretty cool because Amazon stock's pretty expensive. So I think fractional shares are great. Let's see here. Okay, so Eric says he did sell. Okay, I'm Rob. Okay, he only had 5 shares. Well, good for you, man. I'm glad you made some money. Denise, what's the difference in Class A and Class D stocks? It depends on the company. Different companies will issue different classes of shares so that they can control who gets what privileges, right? When you have shares of stock on the market, what you're doing is you're giving people things like voting power and stuff like that. And sometimes companies will have different shares of stock to control who has the most power in the company. So you might issue a second class to say you literally are a second class citizen. You don't get the same rights as the first class citizen.